everybody. So I decided that what I want to do here with this is to basically anytime that something happens, or like I have like an idea, or there's just some change in my plan or how I'm going about things with trying to get a new job, I want to talk about it. With that, today I went to lunch with some friends of mine, and one of my friends, he's a really cool guy. And it's funny because back when I was in college, I took a beginner course on Unix, and it was a little bit of Unix, kind of like just how to navigate through the operating system. And then there was like a little bit of HTML and a little bit of C++, all kind of together. And you came out of it like you could build like a real simple website, but not much else. And so I took that class, and then I was like, oh, well, I didn't really learn anything, I guess. And I didn't do anything with it. I didn't like take another computer programming class or anything like that, which looking back, I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking in college. Anyways, my buddy took that class, and when he got out of it, he was like, cool, like I can make a website now. Like he wasn't thinking like, oh, well, I can't do anything with Flash, so I guess, my website kind of sucks. He was just like, cool, I know HTML, not all of it obviously, but he was like, I know enough. And so what he did is he decided like, well, this seems like something I'm interested in, so I'm gonna just try it out. So he like went to friends and were like, hey, do you need a website? Like, let me build you a website. And like for free, he just like built like a couple websites. And then he was like, cool, like I'm starting to get more comfortable with this. Like maybe I'll start charging. And then he started going to people he didn't know and saying like, hey, for $100, I'll build you like a real simple website. And then that turned into like him getting a job at like an actual company doing like, back end like HTML and stuff. And then he started learning JavaScript and other things and like on and on. Now he's like a UI developer, and he's got a career now based on this one class. And it's like just that, we both learned the same things. We just did very different things with that knowledge. Getting a phone call because I'm important like that. So I had lunch with him, and I was just asking him questions like, I want to do something else. I'm not happy at my current job. Like, what are I'm taking this Python class. What do you think about that? And he's like, I don't use Python because I do web stuff. We don't really use Python for any of the applications that I do. And I was a little like, oh, bummer. But what he did say is he told me about this thing called Salesforce, and apparently Salesforce is like a back-end like utility that you can like kind of jack into your website to pull user data and then create trends and be able to make sense of all the data you're collecting, to create tools to customize it for your business and like what you're doing. So like obviously if you're selling cakes, you might need different user information than if you're running like a social media site like Facebook. Like each one of those would have different needs for it. So I was like, cool, like let me look into that. And I went online and I found some like online training stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now. So like today I'm going to be doing some Salesforce, and just to kind of see, is this like even something I want to learn? And I think talking this out, like to me, like the really big lesson here is that just because you know a little doesn't mean you know nothing, right? And so, if I could go back to like my 23-year-old self and who just got out of this Unix class and is like bummed out because I couldn't make, back in like 2005, all the fancy websites had like Flash and like they were starting to do cool stuff with CSS. I would look at that and be like, oh, well, I can't make that, so I guess I'm worthless. And it's like, no, like the foundation, like you can build a basic web page that will function and can go to different pages, and you can build a table of contents. Like that's something. I want to learn to credit myself when I know something. And so I think even like with this Python course, I'm doing it again, right? Like, so I'm at lunch with my friend and I'm telling him some of the stuff I'm learning, but I'm frustrated because it's like, I feel like some of the questions in the online course are too easy, and it's not forcing me to really think about what I know to answer a problem. And he's like, why don't you just make something yourself? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, just think of something you want and like make it. Like take what you know and like think of a problem yourself and like figure out how to make it. And I was just like it was just crazy, because it was like duh, like that's so simple. And like that's how you learn stuff is, what is a problem I have in my daily life that I could solve with my new ability to create directories, lists, and like, looping functions in Python. Surely there's something I can make, even if it's just like, with being able to make dictionaries, like I can make a something like a little program that like kept a shopping list. I know how to take user input, so you take user input. I mean, like it's all there. It's just reminding myself that just because I know a little doesn't mean I know nothing, and the little I know, if I use it, can grow into something more. And anyway, so that's where I'm at today. Working on Python still, working on Salesforce now. I haven't really been at my job much lately. I was able to take a couple days off last week for some bereavement because I lost a friend recently, and then I had some PTO, so I took today off. So I don't go back to work until Sunday, which is nice. So I'm really hoping to take some time here and work on these things, and that's about it. So I guess I'll update as this goes on, and yeah, I guess that's it. And see, this is another thing, just like real quick, this is another thing where it's like I'm already like in my head like, well, why don't you already have 20 episodes in the can, and like, all with like really nice intros and graphics and stuff. It's like I never give myself time to build things. I never give myself like permission to like grow and see where something goes. So I'm really hoping I can do that with this, and also with all my current educational goals. Yeah, so all right.